G'day everybody, Duckville here. We've got a Zerg versus Terran here on Metalopolis. The two players, hopefully all of you who are EGIdra fans will be pretty happy because I do have this one here with EGIdra, part of the Evil Geniuses clan. And EGIdra will be against this particular Terran down here, SeoYeonJi, who I'm not actually sure if this is someone famous from the GSL, from the Korean side of things, but very highly ranked in the world. In fact, this particular player is ranked 90th in the world. I just had a quick check, and over 2,000 points on the ladder, etc., etc. So definitely a quality player here on the Terran side at 6 o'clock. Um, Interestingly, this particular name, SeoYeonJi, is the name of one of the booth girls. For those of you who used to watch Brood War back in the day, I suppose it wasn't too long ago, but back in the day, we'll call it that. SeoYeonJi was actually one of the booth girls who would oversee the players when they were setting up just before they would actually have a game in Pro League and Star League, etc. So I would not really think this is actually the particular booth girl there, but either way, it's probably some fanboy with that particular name, I would assume. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure. If anyone could confirm that, please make sure you post something to tell me that I'm an idiot and it is indeed the booth girl. But meanwhile, the particular, I'm just going to call Blue Terran or Terran, whatever, is actually just going to do just a normal sort of wall off here on Metalopolis. Great spawning spots for EGIdra across here at the 8 o'clock position because, as many people would know, you can actually, with this particular map, expanding across the sides, especially away from your opponent, is really advantageous for Zerg. And what we're going to see here is EGIdra has actually gotten his extractor pretty quickly, or standard sort of timing to grab speedlings. So I would assume once the spawning pool is up, and we're just going to wait a tiny bit longer for gas and minerals, and then he's going to grab speed quickly, I would assume. He is also going to grab the expansion here as well. Gets that down before the SCV can come across to harass, which is really good. And so obviously he's going to go for a very EGIdra style, very macro orientated build, and it looks as if the Terran player is also going to do the same sort of thing, grabbing the command center pretty quickly after the racks. And obviously this is going to be perhaps a 3 racks expand style build for Terrans, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that sort of thing come out here from the Terran player. Now, interestingly, on Team Liquid, ironically today I actually saw that some people were asking the questions, can Terran play a very macro-orientated build here these days in StarCraft 2. So it'll be interesting to see if the Terran player here actually does go for just heavy expanding, sitting back and teching up before making a really massive push, which is obviously a lot of what we did see in Brood War from the Terrans. They would just turtle up and just get a lot of tech, get a lot of siege tanks, or whichever particular tech route they were going, and then actually go for a massive push. You don't see that as much these days. Terran is much more about using the harass units that the Terrans have to make sure that you are keeping your opponent's economy in check in terms of using Banshees to harass worker lines, or using Hellions for the same sort of thing against Zerg. So all that sort of thing is very much a key for Terran these days. So it'll be interesting to see if this Terran player is actually going to go hard on macro. So as we can see, grabbing gets a second barracks and a factory as well. So we're probably going to see maybe a sort of light mech slash bio combination coming up. EGIdra grabbing his third gas here down at the natural, and also grabbing a spine caller just in case for defense. Some speedlings are out, so we're going to see some speedlings just controlling the tempo of the Terran's expansion. So he's going to keep an eye on what is actually happening down here at the natural. As you can see with that really quick command center, the Terran player's actually got a massive saturation of SCVs at the moment, because you obviously have double the production of the SCV count. EGIdra poking up here with one of the Zerglings just to see what is happening at the ramp, but interestingly, something which you don't really see too much is actually that this particular Terran player is obviously not afraid of Banelings, because you don't really see Banelings as often from EGIdra, but he certainly is very good with them once they are out on the field. But he's not going to, the Terran player is not going to have a really a hard wall here, I suppose you could say. It is just these 3 supply depots that are here. Now here we go with the bunker out to the natural expansion, getting this up just to make sure that any sort of heavy roaches or anything like that that might come across aren't going to be easily pushing into the natural at all, or the main in fact. But as we can see, EGIdra is really just keeping his Zergling count up, making sure that he can control any sort of pushes that do come from the Terran. And what he's going to try and do is keep some overlords around, I would assume, to make sure he can spot what is happening, and obviously just in case to keep an eye on if the Terran player is going to drop it all. Now we can see there are a bunch of Marines here that are going to just push out, make sure everything's safe for the SCVs, and then the SCVs are going to come across. One siege tank, one lonely siege tank is going to be helping out here with any defense. SCVs transfer across. So just a really basic sort of builds here by both of the players. Nothing too extravagant at all. EGIdra grabbing his third base up here at the 10:30 position, I like to call them. And we are going to see the Terran player moving out a bit, probably just testing what EGIdra actually has prepared for him at his base. I don't think there's really too much apart from the Zerglings. Now, EGIdra's grabbing an evolution chamber, as he does already have the massive fungal growth there. Sorry, from EGIdra. He actually just takes out every single unit that was there from the Marines. That was absolutely huge. That was a really great play there by EGIdra, grabbing the fungal growth there and actually doing a great job on those particular Marines. Just basically stop that push right in its tracks there. Nothing further is going to come from the Terran player just at the moment. We are going to see probably, we've got another command center coming up from the Terran player. He's going to keep moving up on these factories. It looks as if we're getting a third factory up, in fact. A lot of Zerglings running around the map here from EGIdra. He's going to just poke around and see what's happening. I would assume he's going to check out the expansions just to see if our Terran player is actually expanding. But at the moment, he's just going to keep an eye on what's going on. So we've got a lot of tech upgrades coming from both the players. In fact, we've got Zerg ground carapace coming from EGIdra, and we've got Blue Flame from the Terran, and also an armory is on the way. So we're probably going to see some mech upgrades coming soon as well. Nice little drop here from the Terran player. He actually pulls all the Marines up, but he actually gets the fungal growth on the medevac, which means it is going to go down in just a second. All of those Marines do get picked off there by the Queen, and obviously the fungal growth as well. So we're doing some great, there's some really great fungal growth harass here from EGIdra. He's just keep doing a great job, keeping on top of that, making sure that the Terran player is not allowed to harass, as I said, because the Terran players generally would like to keep on top of what's happening in terms of economy, so they like to drop, like to do those sorts of things just to make sure they can so they can actually make sure that their opponent is not getting too far ahead, because as we know, Zerg on a lot of bases with a great economy is nothing to be laughed at. Our Terran player is now moving across. He's going to try and have a look at the third expansion there. One SCV getting picked off here, just having a little look around. EGIdra taking his fourth base up here at the 12 o'clock position, and we are probably going to see, I would assume, a planetary fortress up here, but we'll have to see what happens. Still just mainly these Zerglings coming from EGIdra, and he does have the Ultralisk Cavern done, so we're probably going to see, once this fourth base comes up and we get the 8 gas altogether going, we will probably see just a lot of Ultralisks start to pop out here from EGIdra, and we are probably going to see some really big battles, especially given that our Terran player, whilst supply blocked at the moment, a bit unfortunate there to get stuck with that, is now starting to pump out a lot of Hellions. Now he is going to have the Blue Flame upgrade, and in a moment he's actually going to have the weapons upgrade as well. So he's going to be able definitely to keep on top of all the Zerglings that are roaming around the map. Planetary Fortress here as well, by the way. So we sort of would expected to EGIdra to have some sort of at least some sort of drop play happening just to test out what is happening in the Terran base, but nothing just yet. But he's really keeping on top of his upgrades there, as we can see a couple of Ultralisks pop out. Now these big boys are going to run around and cause a lot of havoc on the Terran units. As we can see, some Hellions are coming across the map here. Just going to poke around and see what's happening. These guys do massive damage to all of the little sort of minor Zerg units, such as the Zerglings. And obviously the drones here are going to get intercepted. Bam! All of those drones go down. A fungal growth on top of the Hellions just to keep them in place while the Zerglings come in. And the Zerglings just absolutely tore apart those Hellions. They've got the upgrade there, and obviously with the damage from fungal growth, that just absolutely massacred those Hellions there. Now, one little thing here which EGIdra's doing, which I love seeing from the Zerg players, is making sure that you've got overlords around the map dropping creep on expansions. So, number one, you actually get the vision of what is happening at this expansion, and obviously if you can see if your opponent is coming across to take it. And number two, especially with Terran, they can't float around a command center and then just take these idle expansions. So it's a great little move there from EGIdra, which definitely everyone should make sure they try and keep on top of if you play Zerg. Our Terran player is now moving across here to the gold. He's going to try and take this one. I would assume he's going to move some forces up here. Nice mech force with even a Banshee included in this particular grouping, but just an interesting one there, probably to keep on top of just if there's any detection needed, so he doesn't have to waste any mules or anything like that. We have now got a lot of Ultralisks out on the map. There are 9 in total, and I would assume there are a couple on the way as well. Yeah, we've got 3 extra Ultras on the way as well. We've got a Banshee coming across here to harass at EGIdra's 5th expansion. Some Infestors coming across. They're going to land a fungal growth on the Banshee, but it's going to take a lot of time for the Banshee to go down from fungal growth. But we do see a couple of infested Terrans pop up. Now watch this. This is awesome. I love to see this stuff. Infested Terrans just, absolutely smashing apart air units when that particular play happens. But as we can see, he's done just a little bit of cover there just to make sure that he can get this particular expansion up and running